All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining this webinar. As I kind of previously mentioned, I'm seeing in the chat so many different hellos from all across the globe. We're really excited that you've joined us today. To just kind of start with introductions, my name is Lucy, and I am a customer success manager here at monday.com. I am joined by two of my colleagues, Iran Helft, who is a product manager at monday.com, as well as Oren Ezra, who is head of product marketing for monday.com. So we are all three on the Zoom with you today and really excited that you have joined us for our webinar. Let's go over a little bit of our agenda as well as some housekeeping items before we get into the real content of the webinar. Today we're going to start by discussing all things Monday 2.0. What is Monday 2.0 and what makes us a work OS? I'm going to be leading that section of this webinar. And we'll dive into some recently released features as well as what's to come. So some really exciting sneak peeks of what you can potentially expect from your monday.com platform and experience. We'll then have Iran jump in and he will be talking to us about the product direction for 2020, where we are headed and the things that we're excited to be releasing and looking toward the future. And we'll end with a Q&A. Just a few housekeeping items. You'll notice in the Zoom that there's two different sections. There's a chat functionality as well as a Q&A functionality. We really want to get to all your questions and kind of engage in a dialogue with you, but please put all of your questions in the Q&A. That is the portion that we'll be looking at to review your questions as well as to include them in our Q&A portion at the end. So that's where those will best be seen. Okay, this is a recorded session. I saw that somebody had asked that, and this will be sent out as well as uploaded to our on-demand page, which is monday.com/webinars for future use. No need to email support asking for a recording. We have you covered, and we'll be sure that we send this out for everyone. Please feel free to share it with your colleagues or friends, whatever that might be. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in here and talk all things Monday 2.0. What is Monday 2.0? Let's start by being sure we're all on the same page. I'm sure that you've seen our new 2.0 term in emails, maybe on our website, potentially in the media, but let's all level set together. We are now a work operating system known as a work OS. And our work OS empowers teams to run any workflow, any process, any project with utter confidence. We are able to adjust to shifting needs, create transparency around work, and connect collaboratively. Ultimately, monday.com 2.0 makes teamwork click. Okay, so what is a work OS? Let's dive into that term and really explore that together. We are shaping and designing this category and super excited to be doing that. Previously, we never really felt that other categories of software described what monday.com can do. There was project management tools, CRMs, team collaboration tools, but it didn't fully encompass all of what monday.com can do and how we can best support teams that are cross-industry, cross-region, cross-size, cross-workflow. A work OS is what we are and what we do. As I said earlier, it really makes teamwork click. In the past year, we've transformed our platform to what it is today. And this has been a very long kind of culmination of releases of many really impactful features, hopefully some of which you've explored and interacted with as you've been working on monday.com. So to start, you can still do all of what you've always been able to do on monday.com, but now there are enhancements that offer a truly full solution that'll house all work across all facets of your organization. We've added in additional capabilities, which we will be releasing very soon, and that will really allow you to use the platform really as a foundational tool to which you can build solutions to every single thing you need to manage. We have over 50 column types so that you can capture and visualize almost any data type in your board. Again, hopefully some of which you've already interacted with. We have views that enable you to capture, visualize, understand, and extract data from the platform. Our views are very vast. So everything from timeline to Kanban view to calendar, file view, map view, form view, and more. You can automate your workflow. We now have over 100 predefined automation recipes that enable you to eliminate that grunt work from your daily work. So you can focus on the stuff that really does require your talents. And a little sneak peek, we'll be adding in a custom recipe automation builder that is coming soon that I'm going to be showing you a little sneak peek of today. We've introduced integrations. We have integrations with over 35 tools in the last few months that has all been released so that you can use the tools from all over your organization and connect in a single integrated workspace. We hope that this will eliminate dual data entry, reduce that human error aspect, and provide a single source of truth within monday.com. And finally, we have over 25 dashboard widgets to best analyze your work data and visualize it for visibility, for alignment across teams, for reporting, for transparency. In January, we were excited to introduce our workload management widget and view, which I am going to cover in depth later today. And you can really expect a lot more to come from us. It's a super exciting direction, and we're excited to be with you on this journey. With this new definition, we aim to inspire you to build more and more of your workflows on monday.com. WorkOS captures what monday.com provides for users ultimately. Today, we're going to focus on some improvements in the platform released in the past few months, plus demonstrate live some of the new features that will soon be releasing into beta. Iran, as I mentioned earlier, will then lead our second half, focusing on first ever kind of sneak peeks and previews into our product direction for 2020. And he'll provide some actual examples of features that we're working on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now, exit the presentation and jump into the platform with you. You can see here that I'm working in this account right here. Hopefully everyone can see it on their screen. And let's dive into monday.com. So to start, whenever we do these webinars, it's always helpful to kind of just quickly level set on the sample use case that I'll be utilizing to guide our discussion today. And for today, I'm going to say I'm part of a design and creative team, okay? So that's the use case we'll be utilizing. I am responsible for producing assets for various campaigns, internal requests, social media campaigns, digital assets. My team has many internal stakeholders, partnering closely with departments such as marketing, product, sales, my executive suite, and more. I work with external vendors and external companies. Needless to say, the example use case is part of a much larger ecosystem. It has a complex and fast-paced workflow. And I really hope that many of you can relate to that. We know that we rarely work in silos, and I'm sure whatever your use case is, you can understand that there's a complexity of work that you really need to manage and have a central source of truth for. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the awesome features to come of the WorkOS. And we're going to start with Workspaces. So here we go. Here are our Workspaces. Now, to start, Workspaces are not yet out. They are going to be beta released at the end of March. They are subject to change, but this is our initial vision. So what can Workspaces do, and what do they help you to achieve? Ultimately, think of a workspace like a master folder. They help you to achieve a global view, as well as give you access to zooming in on the nuances of an individual team or an individual unit. They allow multiple teams to collaborate together and in one environment. Okay, so you can see here, I have these several different icons, the M for my main workspace, the D for my design workspace, HR, R&D, software, sales, so on and so forth. Should I click on all workspaces, I can see all of the workspaces within my account, some of which are private and others I can join and add to my account. This allows my entire organization to collaborate in one central work OS together. Because if I'm part of the customer success team, my work might be housed in this workspace. However, the HR team can work efficiently in this workspace as well. We're all together in one work OS, but focused on our individual efforts in our individual workspaces. Okay, so here I've joined my design and creative workspace, and when I open this, I have several folders similar to the organizational structure you'll see now, as well as my boards that are my projects, my tasks, my processes, things that I'm really managing at a more nuanced, zoomed in level. One big benefit of Workspaces is it allows for privacy as well as transparent collaboration. Advanced workspaces will work on permissions. So you will have to be invited into the workspace in order to see that work. However, that is coupled nicely with main workspaces or public workspaces that can be joined and seen for all. It's a very transparent solution. Additionally, we think this is a really exciting change because it really enables multifaceted organizations to work together in this shared environment. It's one work OS and everybody can collaborate together. Okay, so here are our workspaces. As mentioned, they're not out yet, but we're excited for our beta release at the end of March. Next up, I want to talk about sub-items. This is another feature to come that will really help to enable you operating within your work OS. And to show the sub-items, I'm going to go ahead and use this board right here. As mentioned previously, I'm part of that design and creative team, and this board is kind of focusing in on one particular project that I'm working to manage, which is a Subway ad campaign, tracking kind of all my details and the nitty-gritty. Now, a lot of it looks exactly as Monday always did: transparent, visual, colorful, very easy to collaborate, to communicate. All of those amazing elements are still there. But as we mentioned, we're adding additional features that really will enable that work OS. Let's talk about sub-items. This has been something that we have actually been requested a lot, so we're super excited to bring it to life. Sub-items help us to break tasks into smaller units, to help work feel more manageable, to help processes be managed more efficiently, to break down the complex into more kind of specific items here. So on this board, you can see I have all of these different kind of phases of my project. And within each one, each item is a bit task oriented, okay? So within my sketching and prototype group, I need to talk about my first ideas and sketches. Now, there's gonna be a bit that goes into that. I think that the overall category might be a bit too general. Great example of how to add in a sub item. By clicking on the down caret, creating a sub item, I now have what looks like a new item, but is nested within my overall item here. So within this first ideas and sketches, I can add in brainstorm 5 ideas. Okay, add another one, sketch out top 3 ideas, so on and so forth. You get the picture. Now, what's really cool here is that I can see that I have sub-items demonstrated, as well as the column structure does not have to be parallel to the one above. So while all this information is needed for my kind of high level, more broad general idea, I can customize my sub-item to maybe have some different columns. So maybe a date is not really as necessary here, but actually adding in a file column would be really helpful because I want to upload my ideas and my sketches. So I can have this all within this one space. Go ahead and collapse the sub item as well as re-expand it when I do need to dive into those nitty-gritty details. That's kind of a sneak peek into sub-items. This is not out yet, but we are really excited to release this soon. Subject to change, may look a little bit different as we're working through the kinks, but ultimately this is the idea of how you can enable sub-items into your workflow. Okay. Let's talk about another kind of cool board enhancement that is to come, and that is custom column templates. I'm hoping that most of you have interacted with our board templates that offer kind of a great starting point, a great jumping off place to get started in managing your work. We took that to the next level and wanted to increase the ease of use of monday.com and have added in custom column templates. To add in one, you will go to that column, the down caret, and now I can save this column as a template, okay? So what are some examples of how that this can help? For example, the status column. These all have very bespoke custom labels that are specific to maybe your department or your team even, or maybe even the project you're working on. Maybe these are reoccurring, and rather than constantly typing in these new labels and having to reset them every time a project rolls over into a new board, boom, you can add in a column template and that will then be visible in your column center. On the column template, I can name this to save as a template, confirmed. And once I go into my column center, it will be visible there and easy for me or my team to use. Okay, so that's another kind of sneak peek. In addition, because I mentioned the status columns right here, we are excited that one of our newest features is that we will be adding 10 colors to the status column. In the past, it had been 20 labels available to be utilized. We're actually adding in 10 to come. So really excited that we'll have a release of additional status labels coming imminently. Let's talk about one of our awesome January releases, and that was the workload. We're going to start with looking at the workload at the board level, and then we'll jump to the dashboard level to give us a bit of that global view. So to start, what does the workload do, and how can it help our workflow? Essentially, the workload, which is already out, released in January, helps you to see who is busy at any time, who is at capacity, who is overutilized on your team, and who is underutilized on your team. This will help you to effectively manage the personnel that you're interacting with. This will help your staff to visualize what they're working on, as well as if they are able to take on a bit more comparative to what the load of others on the team. To use this view, you're going to need three things on your board that will all pull into the view together. Ultimately, you're going to need the people column, a date column, and a number column. And the number is primarily used for an estimation of how long the task will take. That way we're all able to understand how one resource is utilized comparative to another resource. So let's just look at that on my board here. I have a people column right here. I have a date column right here. And I've utilized a number column to show the estimated time I'm associating with each task. Given the nature of my board, it's very hard for me to understand if my designer here is a bit overutilized or underutilized. Maybe can she take on something else? And I really want to see that in a very visual way. That's a great example of how I'm going to utilize the workload. By going to my board view, clicking on the workload view, which I've added from the view center, I'm launched into the workload view. Okay, here I can see based on days, weeks, or months, the commitment of each member of my team. I have my 4 team members here, as well as their overall commitment. In the settings menu, which I've enabled right here, I'm able to pull in the certain columns from my board. So we know that maybe you'll have multiple people columns, multiple date columns. This essentially just allows for customization of which of those columns should influence the view. We can measure the effort in 2 ways, simply by an item count, how many items are they assigned to that they are working on in this particular time period, or I can add in that numbers column, which shows an estimated effort. I'm able to set a weekly capacity for each of my team members, and that way I can see that Noah, for example, is pretty much at capacity. She's at 14 of her 20 hours, whereas Jess is only at 2. So here I know that I can add in additional responsibilities for Jess, and maybe Noah I should give a bit of a break to. Should somebody be overloaded, their circle will become red. Again, very visual, very transparent, easy to see what's going on with your team and how to manage an overall workload for your team. I hope as I'm talking, everyone is putting questions in the Q&A. I see some that are already going in there. We definitely want to get to all of your questions. So as they come to mind, please go ahead and throw them in the Q&A, and we'll definitely be getting to those by the end. Okay. So this was workload at the board level. Let's go ahead and look at workload at the dashboard level. And what are dashboards? And let's kind of level set on that first. So dashboards give us that global perspective. They are a great place for data analytics, for reporting, for looking at a really global perspective of all of the projects you have going on. And again, this is within the context of your Work OS. So this might be across departments. This might be across projects at different levels of the organization. We want one source of truth to see these all wrapped up together. And that's a great example of how to utilize our dashboards. Here, I'm going to click on a dashboard already configured for our design and creative department. It pulls in several widgets that help me to report and understand the different various projects I have going on and kind of a roll up into one space. While we have the workload board view, we also have added in a workload widget. This was released in January. I hope that a few of you have already kind of checked this out and explored it. And if not, please go ahead and take a look at it later today. Essentially, this workload widget compiles all of the work and time and all the things we just sort of discussed for review in cross-board into one singular view. Okay, so this will help us understand who on our team is busy, at capacity, so on and so forth. This is an example of the workload widget we can see right here. And essentially, I was able to pull in multiple projects into one shared space. So how do I add that in? When I go to Edit, Add a widget, or this is now my widget center where I can search all of our various widgets, 25 already and many more to come. I can add in the workload widget. Functionally, I go through the flow of selecting which boards should be involved in the widget, as well as maybe customizing a bit of the columns that I like, the groups, the effort and capacity. Essentially, you get the idea, but the configuration is very akin to every other widget. But now we're able to see exactly who is working on what, who is at capacity, who is overloaded across several different projects, and who may be underutilized. Here I have it right here, very visual and transparent. We've made some additional kind of capabilities and updates to our dashboards that will only kind of enable them to be better and stronger. The first is that you are able to share dashboards with guests. So those are for sharing dashboards externally to a client, to a vendor, to a freelancer, to someone you might want to kind of showcase your work to, but they don't need to see the nitty-gritty of everything within monday.com. Share a dashboard. We've also added in the ability to export dashboards, again, really great for reporting functionalities, and export them out to Excel or to a PDF, something that'll kind of take them outside of the platform and make them usable in a different way. And we're excited to add in more widgets as well as more widgets per dashboard. So a lot more to come here. Okay, the last kind of in-platform thing I'd like to show is just advancements that we've made to our automations. As we kind of discussed earlier, automations are super key in helping to remove that grunt work, to make that work happen efficiently and smoothly and without any need for human error. Back to my board is kind of my example. Definitely just want to highlight briefly a few of the new automations we've added. When I click my automation center and look at all of the automation recipes that I have available, over 100 at this point. We've done a lot with cross-board automations. So you can take different items or different actions that occur in one board, and that will lead to trigger an action in another board. Item move. Okay, so this is an example right here, that very familiar trigger and action type recipe style. When a status changes to something, move item to a different board. It allows you to work collaboratively across many different boards and environments using automations that'll happen automatically. Right. Now I'd like to give you a quick sneak peek into 2 features that we're working on and super excited to have coming out in the near future. While they are both unique, the vision behind these 2 features is very much the same. We want to give our users a set of building blocks, fundamental functionalities within the platform that can then be taken and constructed in a unique and a bespoke way that is ideal for you and for your work OS. This will give our users increased flexibility to design entirely customized workflows that are really a perfect fit for their work and their day-to-day. So to start with this kind of visionary video, this is definitely subject to change, but a video that we are excited to show here. Here is our custom automation builder, which allows you to do just that. Let me go ahead and play this video for you now. Okay, great. So essentially, what you could have seen there is that we give you the building blocks and we let you build your own recipes. Decide how these automations are going to work for you and build them completely bespoke into your workflow. We expect the beta release of this to be at the end of March. This will be available on all plans, but this is just a sneak peek into how this might look. Second sneak peek to give you today is on Monday apps.
Hey, Lucy, just jumping in for a second. It seems like the sound of the video isn't working. Maybe we can see if we can put it on.
Sure. Yes. Thank you for letting me know that.
Sure thing.
I wonder why that is. Let me quickly stop the share and reshare it with audio and see if that helps. One moment.
If you can share the audio through Zoom of the video.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Share it here. Should we try it now? Did that work?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, great. Sorry, everyone, for that hiccup. Appreciate you sticking with us at that point. Let's go ahead and launch into the Monday Apps Vision video, and that way you can see essentially what this sneak peek is here. So we hope that left you kind of excited for what's to come from these two spaces. We're really excited to kind of integrate these into our platform and to move forward with them and hopefully get them out there soon. So essentially, that was our recap of what was recently released as well as what's to come. As a refresher, we touched on workspaces, template columns, sub items, workload, custom automations, and Monday apps. All things that are really going to enable that work OS and take it to the next level, some of which are already out, others are to come. So definitely stay tuned.